You know, when this episode title was presented to me, I kind of dreaded it. The hardest thing in the world to me, because I'm living it, I'm experiencing, I've been through it, is moving on. Doesn't matter if it's from family, friends, relationships, new jobs, your city, your house, whatever. Moving on is the hardest thing to do because you never know what's on the other side of that door once you walk out of it. And that's what I experienced. I'm still experiencing it to this day. It's very hard. It's very frustrating because you think something is there and it's no longer there. So I think moving on sucks, but sometimes it's necessary. And I don't really too much got to explain that, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm going to explain that later. No. I'm going to explain all this now. Y'all know what it is. Let's start the show.
Ever been left speechless by the ridiculousness of modern dating? Or maybe you're more old school. Yeah, like seriously, what were we thinking with those pickup lines in the 90s? This is I'll Explain All This Later, the podcast where we dissect the crazy world of relationships. From dating app disasters to in-law interventions, we'll cover it all. Now, some of our takes might be a little hot, but hey, that's what you get when you press play and tune in. We'll explain the logic behind it all. Eventually. Anyway, let's dive in. Here are your hosts, Big Smash, Nerra Muhammad, and Rose Gold.
All right, so gotta take it back a little bit. And as I dreaded this title when I seen it, last episode of the season, man, episode 10, y'all already know what it is with me, man. I'm back. All right, so look, I know this season has been a little bit of a journey, but here we are. It all ends where it begins. We got Miss Nerra in the building. What up?
What's up? I'm so happy to be here. Close it out with you for the first season, you know.
Tonight, as we dive into this, I just want to take a little time to tell people out here in the world, man, listen, start appreciating the moments while you have them. And what I mean by that is start appreciating, like take a step back and just be glad that you got what you have.
Absolutely.
Two things. There's always someone out here who wishes they had the things that you complain about.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was always someone out here worse off than you are. So take advantage. All right, y'all. Tonight's episode, Nerra, first of all, welcome back.
Thank you.
I can tell you that I've been trying to keep things civil till you came back. How you feeling?
I'm all right. Life be lifing, but you know what? It's just like what you said. It's just taking a moment to just appreciate and just live in a moment. You know what I mean? Not getting caught up on like day-to-day things, but like looking at big picture shit. Like, I'm blessed.
For sure. All right, man, listen. Tonight's episode 10. This is the season finale. This is how we're going to do this. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. This one, out of all of them, probably hits closer to home with me. So, but I'm going to explain more about all that by the time this is done and over with. All right, episode 10, moving on. Topic, breakups and moving on. Scenario, you've recently experienced a painful breakup and are struggling to move forward. Yeah. So, for those of you that don't know the full background of Big Smash right now, Big Smash, I have been separated for quite some time, and they finally granted me my freedom. Okay. And what I mean by that is if I leave this earth right now, don't nobody old claim to nothing that Big Smash had. Cool. I ain't got much to give. So, I mean, it's going to be a fight between that person and these kids. So luckily now it's just these kids. So yeah, there's being happy and then there's just tolerate. And I think for the last year, maybe two, I don't think that we were happy. I think we tolerated each other enough to know that we want to move on, we want to start over, we want to leave this. But I think neither one of us wanted to pull that trigger until that trigger was pulled.
Oh, I know. You know, I was married for 10 years, so I know.
Yeah.
It's hard. You be like, shit, dog. I don't know what to do. Therapy for me, it was therapy. Therapy was
Facts.
she read me so much, and she made me, it's not even just that she read me so much for me personally. Because let me just start by saying, for me personally, I don't believe that healing is linear. I don't believe that it's always gonna look the same. Every scenario was different. Every person is different. But one of the things that helped me with therapy was that she made me figure out who I was, from personality test to just like really making me write shit down, like really asking me questions. Like she was giving me homework, dog, and it was like, damn, that's when it was like, yo, I gotta really make some different decisions in my life. You know what I mean? Like, I completely understand where you're coming from. It's hard to finally get to that place where you're like, this ain't healthy for either one of us.
Yeah, I went through a whole bunch of stages during the it's almost over and then it's over stage. At first, it was like, yo, I don't want to do this. This ain't what I want to do. This ain't what I signed up for. But then you go through that moment where you're thinking about, okay, what is going to change? What is going to be different? If I just sit here, what is going to be different? Sometimes you start thinking about the reasons why you stay together. Oh, because I love this person. Oh, because this person loved me. The kids. It's a bunch of things, a bunch of reasons as to why people stay in things. Oh, I see the potential in you. For me, it was, I remembered who you were before you got to this point. So it's like sometimes we give out grace because of who people used to be. Like, I know you could be this person. I know you was caring, you was loving, you was supportive, and you gave a damn. I know that person is in there, but you got to realize that after a while, that person is gone.
Yeah.
And I think for me, moving on was tough. It really was. I gave somebody 4 years of my life. That's not a couple of days. That's not a couple of weeks. I gave somebody 4 years of my life. And to see it all go down the way that it went down towards the end, it still kind of bothers me.
Man, you stay for so many years. You be like, the years start stacking up. You be like, shit.
Yeah, I didn't want it to go the way that it went, but I guess sometimes the hardest breakups go the way that they're supposed to go. You know what I'm saying? They go the way that they go, so you are guaranteed to never look back. Some things got to end. We're gonna give out some advice on things. Now, I'm gonna tell you, for me, honestly, I didn't want to do shit. I didn't want nothing that reminded me of this person. I didn't want to go anywhere that reminded me. I didn't want to listen to no music. I didn't want to watch no TV. Anything that reminded me of this person, I had to stay far clear away.
You went cold turkey.
I had to, because anything like that would like trigger me back into that whole, well, I should call her, I should text her, I should just, even now it's like, I feel like I'm gonna be forever scarred. I'm supposed to be happy around this time, but now I'm not happy. I'm pissed off. So it's a bag of mixed emotions there. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of them things. It's like, I don't know. I thought that was a good idea. And then now that it's done, I'm like, yeah, that's a fucked up idea. I don't know what the fuck you were thinking, my boy.
And I think that scars fade after a while. And I think that after a while, you're not even going to care anymore. Like on the back end of, you know what I mean? Like on the back end of shit, it's like, it'll be one of those things that like in a year or maybe two. However, I thought that I could never get past my marriage. I thought that I could never love another man the way that I loved my husband. And now like post-marriage, I'm like, shit, the guy I was with post-marriage, I was like, I feel like that was like a twin flame. Like that shit was something that I couldn't even explain. It was something I didn't even experience with the man that I married. So I'm like, man, I done lost so many people that I love, including like my father, like from passing, that I feel like it's nothing that I can't heal from. My heart is never broken. It might be wounded, but you can't break me. And that's the thing that I've always remind myself, like no one can break your heart. No one can break you. I might get wounded. You can wound me, but I'm never broken. So I know that like if I heal from some shit before, I know I can heal again. You know what I'm saying? Like after every, you got multiple baby moms, not to throw you out there, but after every breakup, it probably felt really fucking bad. But then you met somebody else. Maybe not.
No, it didn't.
Maybe not. Was this your first heartbreak? Would you say that?
I ain't gonna say it was my first heartbreak. I think, my first heartbreak didn't even come from a relationship. I think it came came from the loss of my granny. Matter of fact, actually, that was my second heartbreak. My first heartbreak was being 6 years old and not necessarily seeing it, but being around it. My brother got gunned down and he was 16 when he got gunned down. I was 6 years old. And that was the worst feeling in the world to me because I thought shootings and stuff was things in movies. I was 6 years old. I didn't understand this. I had to grow up a lot faster than I wanted to that day. That was the first thing that ever broke my heart, really. Because
I love that you said that though, that you shared that, because that proves such a big point that your heartbreak doesn't always necessarily come from romantic partners. My first heartbreak, I would definitely say, came from my dad. And I think my inability to trust men to necessarily lead comes from my father and the men that I knew, because they weren't stable figures in my life. They weren't men that I could depend on, for stability. Yes, they loved me. Yes, they, were a good time, but I didn't feel like my father was someone I could depend on. Like, I would call him and ask for things, or he would say he was going to do something for me, and then he would ghost me. You know what I'm saying? So, and we had a good relationship. I made peace with that, and he and I made peace with that. But I wholeheartedly can understand how our youth completely shaped. People try to downplay it, but don't, because that's like one big strike against you when trying to figure out how you love and who you are. If you try to downplay your childhood, those are the formative years of our lives. So if you try to downplay it, you're missing a big key component of your healing. Like, you gotta go all the way back. Like, take that shit back to when you were 6 years old and you got your heartbreak for the first time. What were some things that you did to self-soothe yourself as a 6-year-old? You gotta kind of try to look back at that type of stuff.
That moment prepared me for a lot of things. It really did. It showed me, again, I learned at an early age that nothing is forever, no matter how much you want it to be. In regards to my children's mothers and relationships like that, I think the only thing that I took from them was us having children. I didn't believe in falling in love and getting married and all that shit. That shit was a fairy tale to me.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? I was at 33 years old. I was like, yo, I'm never getting married. I'm never getting married. It's never happening. You meet somebody and things change, and then you get that feeling like, oh yeah, I gotta marry them. And then it goes from that to, I'm so in love, and then it goes to, I gotta get the fuck away from this person. And that's what it was like for me. The hardest thing about it was, looking back, I accept 75% of the reason why the stuff ended the way that it did.
That's a big amount, Smash. Like, that's a big amount. Like, that's like Daniel saying, like, it's my fault that this marriage didn't work.
It is. I'll take that. And I'll tell you why I'll take it. Because me being who I am, I was unloved a lot of times during my marriage. I can say that. I was unloved a lot. The reason why I say it's my fault most of the time, because people don't just wake up overnight and become unloving. It usually takes something in there. Here I am. I have a lot of excuses and a lot of reasons for a lot of the things that I did, for the infidelity, for the disrespect, for the lies and games. I can give you a bunch of reasons as to why I did the things I did, but ultimately I failed, and it was on me because marriage is sacred. And once you break any vow, I don't care what it is, I don't care what the reason is, marriage is the most sacred form of a relationship you could have romantically. Right. It doesn't get no higher than marriage. Right. So I took it for granted, and I had this feeling like, yo, whatever I do, she gonna be here, because that's what it's supposed to be, forever and a day. It's supposed to be that. So I can lie, I can cheat, I can be a Jody, however it was, I could be that, because it says forever and a day, until it's not. And we get so caught up admiring the other grass, how green it is, how shiny it is, how cut the line is, that we forget to do the same shit. Our yard could be just as good if we took the time, stop admiring what's over there, and we took the time and focused on our own lawn. And for me, that was my issue. My lawn, I felt like my lawn was good, but I still had to go cut other people's lawns and water and do all that, because as the leader, as the man, as the head, I should have did better. And I think, like, my next go round, because I said on the last episode, I said, like, if me and marriage, we meet again, I'm going to act right. It's going to be a lot different because I know the pitfalls and things like that. Am I re-looking for marriage?
Yeah,
Probably not.
you said marriage is sacred, and yet you also said in the same, scenario that you cheated on your wife and that you
I
treated it
did.
like it was just like another relationship.
All right, so look, right? Again, I could make a bunch of excuses and a bunch of reasons why I did the things that I did, but it's not going to change the fact that I did it. I took a vow between her, myself, and the man above. I already felt ill about that. But they always say, why not just move on? If you feel like you're going to cheat or you're going to do this, why not just move on? And I'll tell you what it was for me. Moving on or ending it was hard because a part of me still felt like we had unfinished business.
Yeah.
Okay. And I can talk about this now because it's done and it's over with. It ain't never coming back. So I can speak how I feel now because for the last couple months, I had just been processing it. Like I can speak what I feel now. I knew that if I continued to stay, it wasn't going to get better. I was going to end up being just hurting and cheating and lying and doing all that because when they talk about, oh, why don't you just move? I tell you why it was hard for me. I love being married. Maybe not the marriage that I had, but I love being married to her. But I think like even now, there are certain aspects that I miss about being married. Do I miss being married? No, but there are certain aspects of marriage that I miss. Having someone there with you every day, someone helping you, supporting you, helping you build with the kids and build a home. Yes, I miss all of those things.
Yeah.
Do I miss marriage? No. Go ahead.
I'm in such a peculiar space with my ex-husband because we get along so well. Like he's legitimately my best friend. So I think for me, when it comes to breakup, like I said in the beginning, I don't believe that breakups are linear. And so I think that for everyone, how you heal and how you're going to get past your breakup might look different. Some people can go on a sabbatical or go to a retreat and find healing and feel like they moved on. Some people might enroll a class. Some people want to cry it out. Some people move on by starting to date new people. I mean, there's different ways to process your grieving, your breakup. I just want to say, I love how you said you took accountability. The main thing I want to say that I think that goes for everyone is, one, take accountability for whatever role you played in the demise of your relationship, because no matter how perfect any of us think that we are, somewhere along the lines we played some role. Because like you said, you felt like you were at 75%, which left 25% for her. So even if she feels, and I'm just using you as an example in this moment, but even if she feels like this is Smash's fault, there's still that 25% where there was some sort of breakdown. You get what I'm saying? So I think that both parties, like when you break up with someone, you really do have to look at like yourself just as much as you have to look at the other person. But then I think for me too, like I think I'm easier to get over breakups because I'm in a place in my life where I'm like, life has seasons. You know what I mean? Seasons change, people change. But I am grateful for whatever you might have brought to my life or whatever I can take from this lesson that I might have learned or from this season that I was with you. I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna be grateful and I'm gonna use it to propel me to my next season, my next chapter. And maybe that's the writer in me. I'm such a writer and I use a lot of my personal life, like my own stories and scripts that I write. So for me, I'm like, this is just inspiration in the Nerra Muhammad story. You know what I'm saying? Like if I were to die and someone would write my biography, this motherfucker might be juicy. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been through some shit and I'm okay with that. I'm not afraid to love and I'm not afraid to get my heart wounded because I know that there's always healing at the end. There's always, I can come back. I think for me, the only things I might not be able to come back from would be maybe the loss of one of my children. But anything for me, probably outside of that, I know that if I believe in God and I believe in myself, then I know I can heal from it. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta find something it's so many different things. There's so many ways.
You most definitely have to find a way to get through it, but it's okay if you don't.
You're gonna get through it. At some point, you're gonna get through it.
I mean, yeah,
you are.
In a sense,
if you're still breathing, you're gonna get through it.
See, I feel like relationships, you know what I'm saying? I never was long for relationships anyway. It was like I told y'all, for the longest time in my life, I was never single. I wasn't single all of 5 minutes. Like
that's crazy.
I jumped right in the next because my motto was
no processing.
Yeah, if we break up today, I'm moving on today. I'm not sitting around here waiting on you. If we break up today, I'm moving on today.
And see, for
with
me,
the
that
next
says you
person.
didn't love me. That would tell me straight off the bat, like that was not love. But
I don't
again,
think
we do all love differently. But I know for me, if I loved you, I'm not moving on the next day. Like it's not.
I'm just saying, like, okay. So my whole process with that is this person ain't gonna stop their life for me, because if I mattered, we wouldn't be breaking up. She gonna go ahead on and live her life and do her thing. So why the fuck am I gonna be the only one sitting around here
I don't
being all
think that's how
sad
I
and
think
shit?
about it. I don't think it's about being sad or like feel like I'm stopping my life, because my life's not gonna stop.
Now I
But
gotta watch your
I
page
can
and see.
definitely find other things to preoccupy my time and better myself, not jump to the
See,
next dude.
see,
But I'm a
I
woman
was
too, so this is interesting hearing the difference.
I was different. I gotta watch your page and hope
Oh
that
no.
you
See,
ain't talking about
first
hope.
things first, big one. I'm glad you brought that up. You got to stop. Oh my God. That is the one. And I was gonna mention this. I'm so glad you said it. I gotta stop him, y'all, because I know where he's going with this. After a breakup, you need to block that person. For your not necessarily because they're gonna be on your page. And it's a good point. Because sometimes as a woman, I might not even block your ass because I don't want you on my page. I ain't blocking you because I don't want to be on your page. Because I know how tempted I'm gonna be to go look at your story. Don't do that. It's not healthy. It's
Don't
so
block me.
unhealthy. You don't.
Cause
If you don't block them, it doesn't matter. But my thing is just don't go on that person's page. That is unhealthy.
My method with that was I don't want to move on till I know you moved on. So
your moving on is not contingent upon theirs either.
okay, so for me, it was. It's like, all right, I want to move on. I want to, but if I move on too quick and she ain't moved on, now I feel bogus as hell because she might have been waiting for me to come get her. And I'm out here, lollygagging with somebody else.
Y'all,
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the only way for me, now I ain't telling nobody to do this, but I'm saying a lot of dudes have.
Don't do it.
I have watched pages and sent subliminals on social media and things like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I go on there and be on some bitches ain't shit type shit. But in this case,
I love talking to you because it's so interesting.
In this case, it's you. You are the B word, but respectfully, I'm letting you know, get your shit together because this shit ain't gonna last too long for me. So,
and you be lurking, guys.
I do.
You're not gonna make your healing or how quickly or slowly you move on be contingent on what they're doing, because once you break up, that is your way of saying I don't give a fuck about what you're doing any longer. Your happiness is nowhere near contingent upon what they got going on. This is not the emotional Nerra. This is the lot.
You're right. Stay off their social medias, okay? It doesn't help.
I'm telling it to myself too, guys.
But
I am telling it to myself.
Social media, listen. So for me, it was, I'm not going to give you a chance to move on because I ain't ready to move on. And what I mean by that is, and ladies and gentlemen, I really want y'all to listen to me when I say this. Don't try to force the situation back. What I mean by that is, if you know that it's over, let it be. Don't try to love bomb yourself back into it. Don't try to show up and make things right. Don't try to do all the things you should have did when y'all was together, because now it doesn't feel genuine. It just feels like, you screwed up. Cool. So for me, here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen, and this isn't just in one particular relationship. This has been in all of them. If I got caught cheating, no, that sounded bad. It wasn't all of them, but you get what I'm saying.
Nope.
If I got caught cheating, I'd be cool for the next 3-4 days. I'm around the house, I'm helping.
Not 3-4 days.
I'm being tentative to her feelings, and we're spending quality time, and I'm doing a little extra razzle dazzle in the bed. It's a bunch of things that I did just to say, all right, look, I screwed up. I'm cool. We can work this out. And for the next 3-4 days, it's really gonna feel like we can work this out.
Wow.
And then I'm right back on bullshit. So I just want to say,
I'm just saying, not even a week though, not even 7.
Listen, right? Sometimes you got to be on your best behavior. You know what I'm saying? Just for the moment.
You're on your best bullshit. You're on your best.
And I really thought, listen, I mean, I tried to fix these relationships, but I just felt like, if I don't see, so I say this: if you know that it's over, let it be that.
Let it be.
Okay.
Especially if
I don't
cheating,
believe in the whole, if it's love, set them free, and if it's meant to be, y'all will be back together. I don't believe in that. I'm gonna tell you why.
Now, I got a perfect case and scenario where that happened.
Go ahead.
And it was real. She's actually a relationship expert. She's freaking amazing. I watch her stories. She is a white woman. I don't know if that should be a disclaimer, but she was like with this fuck boy or whatever for like, you know, she was doing all the things that we women do, trying to make him see that she's such a great catch. She finally just like, she let the shit go. They let it go. Years went by though. It wasn't like they just like pretended to like leave each other alone. Like years actually went by, and now they've been happily married for like 10 years. She just had like their 4th baby. I was like, wow. And now she's a relationship expert and coach. So I do think that can really happen. I do think you could be a soulmate with a person. I do think you can meet even a twin flame. I am a spiritual girly, but I do think that you could meet someone who truly could be a really good partner for you, but it could be bad timing. I do believe that. Now, this is me saying, don't wait around for a person. I'm saying if life just somehow brings y'all back together, you be back and forth between Minnesota and Chicago. Say you met somebody in Minnesota, and then one day you see her in Chicago years later. Y'all both just totally different fucking people, but y'all meet at a pizza house, a pizzeria, and you like, fuck. And then all of a sudden it's this beautiful love story. You're like, who would have even thought? You can't just count it out. You can't count it out.
Definitely gonna count that shit out. I feel like this. Right? You got months, okay?
You never know.
That year shit, I'm not waiting around no years.
I'm saying if y'all randomly just came together,
if by
both single
chance
at the
that
same
happens, great, cool.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
But I felt like, listen, when my marriage was going the way it was going, I cried for 40 days and 40 nights. Okay. And I cried and I cried and I was hurt and I was in pain and I thought about jumping into other women. I thought that would have been the cure.
Literally, y'all.
That is not the cure, ladies and gentlemen. I don't
literally.
I don't suggest that.
I don't either. That whole get under somebody new. In fact, that actually led me back to the dude, because the dude I went and had sex with, it was so little and so bad. Because, I was like, listen, I need that big dick. I need it now. Now I had to go back on principle. You try
to find them in everybody that you dealing with.
Yeah, it's not a good idea. Don't do that.
Because you haven't healed. And I'm super guilty of this. I tried to find her in everybody that I was dealing with. And then I realized I'll never find her in anyone I'm dealing with because there is no her. Stop doing that. When you go into a completely new situation, you're supposed to have a clear mind of what you want. You're supposed to move forward. You're not supposed to think about, I mean, it's okay to, well, I know in my last relationship or my last marriage, I know how I want to be talked to. I know how I want to be treated. I know what I don't like. I know what I do like. It's okay to have standards and morals on what you want in your next. But
I'm actually encourage you to write that shit down. I literally, in my journal, wrote down every single quality that I'm looking for a man, and that fucking list to compare to people that you meet. And make sure this list is not based off a person. This is based off of you and what you want. Your triggers. You can make a list about your triggers, the red flags. Make a list about what you want, the personality traits. Make all them fucking lists. And every time you meet somebody new, you take that shit to your list, because sometimes we get so caught up in the exterior of a person and them little feelings that we get that we bypass the fact that we already know that they're not going to meet up to those standards that we really want, but we just bypass it because our lower self can think for us sometimes. Write that I'm telling you, yo, it's something so powerful in writing down your thought and just putting that shit on paper, because then one day you could go back and look at it and be like, yeah, this is the kind of woman that I want.
Hell yeah. And before you move on, make sure you heal.
Take the steps though. Healing is not going to happen overnight. And it's okay to move on once you're in a better place. No one's ever 100%.
I wouldn't recommend you go jump on some more dick and some more because feelings happen
at all.
But now, listen, you are human. Things happen,
and you might have to go through that.
The flesh is weak.
Like,
all right,
I had a friend who had when she left her husband, she was out there, and then it hit her like, oh, this shit don't feel good. But maybe that's what she needed to get out of her system. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, I ain't never had them issues. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I went and jumped in some coochie, it was gonna feel good.
But no, we are women are so different though. Like, if we're just having sex with a bunch of dudes.
Man.
No, I'm talking about, I know I can speak for myself. Like, one, I'm not doing no dumb shit like that personally. But I can tell you, like, as a woman, especially a woman who's been married for years, to get out of a marriage and then you find yourself sleeping with having all these meaningless partners and you realize like, yo, this is not, it's not healing that, it's not filling that void. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't feel good about yourself afterwards. So the last thing that you want to do after a breakup is go put yourself in a situation where you now gonna feel even worse about yourself, where you can't look yourself in the mirror. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to do that. And that could be on either side, because some men might feel guilty, like, yo, ew.
We call that post-nut clarity.
Oh, yes. Yes. But I don't know if we call that as women, because we're over there crying and feeling like a whore.
Yeah, it's good while we're doing it. We love you. We love being with you.
And for women, it's not always. You could be in the middle of getting
we want to make you happy.
Like,
this is our pussy. All this shit that we be saying, and then it's like when we bust a nut, it's like, nah. I was tweaking. I ain't really finna get your nails and hair done. I was lying. That shit, nah. We not doing
I'm gonna need
that.
that transaction prior too. If you said
that. you know, and I'm
guilty
guilty of this. There have been many times that I have been in situations.
Was it trash? Is that why?
Nah, I don't even think it's trash. I just think we know we're not supposed to be here, and you was a temporary fix.
I was talking about with the whole lying about what you gonna pay for part.
Oh yeah. Listen, it ain't even that. Like, I had no intentions on doing that shit anyway. But if that's what it took, all right, cool.
That's crazy.
Because I know that I ain't coming back here no more.
And that's exactly why I don't have sex for stupid shit like that. Like, if I have sex with a dude, it's not because I want my hair and nails done. That's why
it ain't even that. Like,
if I'm having sex with you because I want a nut, personally.
Okay, so you know how, like, to impress a woman, a lot of dudes would be like, man, hell yeah, I'll take you get your hair done. Hell yeah, girl, I'll buy the whole mall out for you and all. They'll just be lying.
I live in LA. Dudes don't say that. These dudes out here
not
cheap.
Necessarily saying the woman asks for this shit, but there are a lot of dudes out here who lead with their wallet and will definitely say that shit to get you to, you know what I'm saying, to come even have this, you in the room. You don't have no intentions on doing this shit, but people say it. I've said it. But to know, like, really, really know that it's over, like, if I can think about you and not cry, not be upset like I am right now, I ain't upset about it because I just don't give a fuck. Yeah. And that's respectfully, I had to turn that off. I had to turn the I give a fuck button off because that was the only way that I was going to heal. There was days that I would be upset and I'd be good and I have good days. Facebook or Google or something will be like, well, hey, here's your memories from 2 years ago. Hey, here's your memory from last year. You remember this? And I'll be like, yo, what the fuck?
And like, you could be like, I remember I had that outfit on the day that I went to go see them. You'd be like, bitch.
Listen, Google Photos has a way of pissing me off. So, and I got thousands and thousands of photos. So I don't feel like going all through this bitch. But as soon as I get that notification, delete. God damn it. I'm not going through every photo I got. But as soon as y'all bring this bitch up, you won't bring this bitch up next year. I can tell you that much. Delete. Like, sometimes that's what you got to do. I believe people. When it was over, I erased every text message, every voice message.
I'm heavy on that.
Because
I delete our flicks. I delete our pics because I just, like, I don't want that energy. Your phone goes everywhere with you, though.
I ain't deleting no flicks.
I don't even want to be tempted to look at all that no more. No,
I'm not deleting no flicks. I'm gonna tell you that right now. We gonna keep that.
For me, I feel like I don't want your energy in my phone. I don't even want to be tempted to go back.
I don't ever keep that shit in my phone. No way. I got a storage for that. But what I'm saying is, I ain't getting rid of that shit.
I do. I get rid of everything. I'm not gonna lie.
You might make it big one day.
Oh no, that makes it even worse. My mother, no lie, I swear to God, me and my mother just got into it about this like 2 weeks ago because she was like, "Why did you let him record you?" And you're da da da. I was like, "Ma, I don't think that he's gonna." That's so funny she brought that up because me and my mother really.
I mean,
embarrassing.
Yeah,
like,
unless both parties consent to it and we gonna sign off, we gonna make some money. If I put that shit on social media, all that's gonna do is make your fans want you even more. So now
I'm about to say 9 times out of 10, they're gonna be like, "Oh, I want the macaroni sounds."
I ain't doing that shit. That's the dumbest shit in the world. I hate when niggas and females do that shit. Like,
yeah, it's terrible.
All you doing is amping up the other niggas to get what you want. Like, what are you really doing here? You trying to expose her for being a hoe, or you trying to expose him for being this, and it's like all you doing is upping their profile. Because
And it's like, bro,
somebody
how am
gonna
I a
like
hoe because I was like dealing with you in a romantic connection with you and we were
exactly.
intimate? Like, that's not,
Exactly.
that's what
Like
normal, that's what
so
we do. But don't
now
do that.
I
Like, don't
you
be
know,
spiteful after a breakup. Like, let shit go. Like,
I had
accept,
to heal.
you gotta accept what it is, man. Like,
Yep.
oh, and don't romanticize, because we'll get so stuck on all of a sudden when it's over. Now we're thinking about all those good memories and all the how they made us feel. Stop romanticizing the situation. Take it for face value. Like, if it was really that good, it wouldn't have ended. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it helps you to heal, to think about all the negative shit, like that Tyler Perry movie, Divorced in Black. One of the things I actually did like about the movie was there was a scene where Megan Good was talking to her best friend, and she reached in her purse and she was like, I have this letter for you, or this list of all the fucked up things that he's done to you over the years. And it was like, you know, later in the movie, she's like, when I read that list of all the fucked up things that he's done to me, I really was like appalled that I could even think or say that this person loved me. So like, be honest about the connection. Be honest about why the connection broke down, and take that shit for face value. Don't try to sit up there and romanticize it like it was the greatest love of your life when this shit probably wasn't.
I agree. If it's gonna die, let it die.
Let it go.
What I've learned is in a breakup, everybody says all the fucked up shit they've been wanting to say. Then they just didn't have the balls to say it while everything was going
Or a
good.
reason
See,
to say it.
you learn that everything be so fucked up. See, I started learning a lot of things about shit once we was into it. Like, god damn, like all this shit that I really did really didn't matter. And all this shit that you did really didn't matter. So it was just like, yeah, you start to learn, listen, don't believe that, oh, they just saying that because they mad. They want to get under your skin. Don't believe that bullshit. No.
I say half and half, only because if I love you, I'm gonna accept your bullshit. That doesn't negate the fact that your feet, if you have stinky feet after work and I hate the fucking way your feet smell, and I say that shit in the middle of an argument, bitch, your feet stink. I still love you, but you got stinky fucking feet.
Okay, so
it doesn't negate that I love you though, just because I said something fucked up about you.
It does.
Because what I said,
you
no, here's why it doesn't. Because for instance, my ex was a cheater, a habitual cheater. Me being like, yo, you was a shitty husband because you cheated on me repeatedly, doesn't mean that I didn't love him or I don't love him. Those words are hurtful for him to hear. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's the truth.
I knew I was a cheater, man. I broke some shit inside of her that turned her into the person that she was. Like,
yeah,
when,
like you got, and you gotta accept that.
Yeah, when it was going on, I didn't want to accept that because I was giving her the reasons as to why all this shit happened. But now that it's done and over with, I can think about it and I'll be like, you know what? If the shoe was on the other foot, how would you react? So I had a lot of self-reflection. And like you said, therapy was one of those things that helped. I think just being honest with self.
Music, it's so many ways you can heal. Talking to friends sometimes can help, and family. Not all of your family and friends, let's be real. But you do have some of those more mature, hopefully everyone has at least a mentor or someone trusted that they can go to and have some of those conversations. I'm not talking about that friend that's going to enable you to do your fucked up shit, because we got those friends too. You got to go to somebody that can really be a mirror and be like, nah, friend, I'm your friend, but you fucked up. And I'm going to say that with love. You fucked up, bro.
Oh yeah, I know I fucked up. And the thing about it is,
no, I'm just saying you need that friend that can tell you that sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
you have to listen, take that I fucked up and move on in life with the next person. And
can I say, Smash, forgive yourself, even if you were the one that fucked up the relationship.
Yeah,
you deserve forgiveness and grace too.
See,
because if you want to be a good man to the next woman, you got to forgive yourself for the shit that you did in a past relationship, and honor your mistakes and recognize, I don't want to be that man no more, or woman, because women fuck up too. We're not even about to, including me.
I think it was one of those things where it hit me, and I don't know if it had hit me like I had woke up and just realized, because I ain't gonna lie, when all this shit was going on, they steady was in my dreams. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then one day they wasn't. And then 2 days they wasn't. And then 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, they wasn't. I had stopped dreaming about it. I had stopped thinking about it. It got to the point where I could sit here and have a conversation about what I feel without being upset and crying and pissed off. And then it was like, oh yeah, this is really over. This is a different feeling here, because I'm not tripping on it no more.
Don't that feel good though, when you finally like, yo, I can just breathe without thinking about your dumb ass?
Yeah, that shit feels really good inside, because you know that it's over, they know that it's over, and y'all at peace. It
Yep.
ended
You just like, yo,
peacefully.
I just want to be able to breathe at this point. You know what I mean? Just without even
Yeah.
being sad. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Y'all don't hate each other. Y'all just realize that y'all not for
yeah.
each other. And you know what I'm
I
saying?
can see you and hug you, adapt you up, and be cool with like moving on without even being like, I'll trip this
Yeah,
bitch.
it's easy when you ain't got no kids, when you ain't got,
Yep.
no attachments and nothing that you gotta dwell on for the rest of your life. You could just walk away and be cordial with it. But I
Yeah.
will say this too, like sometimes a breakup is opening the door for what's really for you. That person may not have been for you.
Protection.
The person
Rejection
that is
sometimes
for
protection.
you, the person that is for you is coming. And all this did was open up the
Absolutely.
door and get them out of the way. So that way, when that person comes, you can receive them wide open without feeling guilt, remorse, or anything else for, moving on. Move on.
And those lessons that you needed to learn before they came. Because imagine if you were the same version of yourself in your first marriage when you meet the person that you're supposed to be with. Now you because you didn't take that time, and that's why I was saying, making that point of sometimes you can meet people at that wrong time. Because if somebody met you in your unhealed season, you can't, you're not ready. And now if they meet, it could be that same woman or that same man. If they just met you in your healed season, totally different situation.
I think you gotta go through some shitty relationships before you find what you really want.
You kind of do, and not everybody, but I think the majority of us do. I think it's those very small few people that met their high school sweetheart and fell in love. I don't think that happens as often, but you gotta go through some shit. You gotta know yourself.
They tried to tear down Wanye from Boys to Men, right? He had been with his ex umpteen amount of years. They had like 6 kids. He named all his kids Wanye. I don't know what the fuck they was thinking, but all his kids are named Wanye, the boys, for that matter. And
like Wanye to the second, third, fourth.
Yeah, but they're a singing group now too.
The Sons,
the
Wanye.
Yeah, they're called One More or some shit. They're signed to Mary J. Blige. Whatever. So when he got divorced from their mom, he got married within a year after that.
Like married.
And I think they put in some years. She had like 6 kids by this dude. The fans was dragging him like, she gave you all them years and all them kids and this how you do and blah, blah, blah.
Did she leave him or did he leave her? Like, we don't know. I don't know.
Exactly. Nobody knows. So how can you shame somebody for doing what's best for them? We don't know the ins and outs of people's lives and stuff.
Yeah,
man.
we don't know how long ago they were actually separated before they were fully divorced.
Family and friends can be the demise of a lot of shit. And y'all could have ended mutually.
That's facts.
Don't listen to the single friends. I'm trying to tell y'all, single friends have ruined a lot of people's relationships. Don't listen to them. When you're seeking advice on how to maintain or heal, or because you have them friends, girl, leave him alone. Or dude, you don't need her. You know what I'm saying? Don't go back to them. No. You not going back to them has to strictly be a you decision.
Hell yeah, because I had to call my girls out because they'll tell you that right while they laid up next to the nigga that they told you they was done with. Literally, just finished giving that man head, but she telling you to leave your dude alone. I'm not listening to y'all. No, because at the end of the day, we gonna all do what we want to do, but you're not about to have me over here lonely while you bet you promised me that you was done with. Girl, bye.
And please, and please, if you do nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, stop listening to the social media know-it-alls.
Oh my God, them and the memes that are like, if he doesn't do XYZ on the first date, he don't like you. Shut up. What? Like, that shit irritates me so bad, dog.
Oh my God. Listen, like, the TikTok pick-me's, and there's a such thing. Now listen. Some of these social media dudes and women be spitting. I ain't gonna lie. They be spitting. You can't help but to stop and think like, God damn, you right. But some of these, the Derek Jacksons and all them motherfuckers, goddamn well they capping. Because they this person on social media, but off of it, they're nothing like what they're telling you.
To be very honest, that's what makes it really hard for me to listen to some of them because I'm like, I just don't know. Because of Derek ruined it for a lot of us. Because you know what I'm saying, like he made it seem like he sold for black women.
Derek had a lot of these chicks,
and I mean, but they was throwing that cat at you, knowing you was married.
He had a lot.
But let's be real, like He was a married man, and women knew he was married. They was still throwing cat at him. They didn't care that he was married. Like, I'm not throwing cat at a man that I know is married. I'm just not doing it.
Shout out to the women who threw cat at me when I was married. I appreciate that. Also, I blame y'all because y'all played a part in the demise of my marriage. So yes, she doesn't even get the full 25%. She gets maybe 20. You guys get the 5% because y'all played a part, because y'all was throwing it at me. And as much as I was trying to say no, now in my defense, a lot of my infidelities happened while we were taking a break from me having infidelity. I don't want y'all to get on here and be like, oh yeah,
you should be a comedian, because fuck no. That was the highlight of the whole season, y'all. The highlight of the season. This man said, you know what, matter of fact, I want to thank y'all for ruining my marriage. That was perfect.
So listen, right? I just want to say, potting sometimes saves other people's marriages. Potting destroyed mine. I ain't gonna lie. I went through some shit in marriage and podcasting, so I can relate to it. But listen, y'all, the moral of this is, if it's over with, let it go. You're only hurting yourself more when you ain't letting it go.
Yeah.
All right, Nerra.
Listen, I said all I had to say. Make sure that y'all are taking time out for yourself. Make sure that you are being honest about the situation, not over romanticizing the situation, and knowing that there's always something better out there. There's a new leaf for you to turn. There's better love out there. I'm gonna try to take that advice for myself, because I've been going through a little heartbreaky break myself this summer. But I think for me, that's been what's been helping me, is really just getting back to myself and getting back to the things that I love and the things that make me me, and kind of focusing on, and that's the Virgo in me, just getting back to my bag, just focusing on my dreams, my goals, which, by the way, let me just throw it out there, just published a children's book. So this is one of those things that I've been doing my heartbreak
Shout
time.
out to you, man.
Thank you. I published my first children's book. So yeah, man, get back to the things that make you, get back to the shit that makes you happy, and just like go from there, because you're gonna start attracting everything that's meant for you when you're living in your own purpose.
Yeah. For me, listen, moving on is the hardest thing to do, especially when you still got feelings. You don't have a heart if you can't admit, yo, I got feelings. It's like, you know what I'm saying?
Why do men have such a hard time with that?
Yeah.
Admitting that they just got feelings sometimes. Like,
it's okay to have feelings. It's okay to express your feelings. It's okay to be hurt.
It
doesn't make you a bitch for crying or having emotion. Tyrese said it best. Oh, it's okay to cry. Tyrese, hey, good brother, I was with you, dog. I'm telling you, I was with you. I started crying listening to Tyrese cry, because this is the type of shit that men go through, and society tries to make it feel like we can't cry. So shout out to Tyrese for living in his truth.
Man, everybody should cry. That shit is, I can't say the words because I've been drinking, but fucking cry, dog. And I'm telling that to myself, because I'm not a big crier. I don't like crying. I'm such a dude when it comes to crying. Like, man, fuck that, I ain't crying. But it does feel kind of good. It does feel good.
Listen, I tell you this though, ladies and gentlemen, if you feel like it ain't over, it's okay to cry with your woman. It's okay to cry for your woman. Go over there and cry with her.
What?
All right? Go over there and cry with her.
Don't try to get you back in bed. Don't do that, because you might end up pregnant and then you
exactly.
Don't
exactly.
Do it.
If you see her packing up her bags, cry. I'm just saying, just respectfully, that you might still have a chance before it's completely over, and I don't
want that Kim can't stop loving you.
Yeah.
Light a candle too.
Lenny Williams cried, and I still listen. I be crying with Lenny because I felt that shit. Okay, so don't be afraid to cry, man.
Don't result to these tricks, y'all.
Some of the greatest love stories have came from a man crying for his woman. Don't ever be afraid to cry for your woman. And ladies, don't ever be afraid to cry for your dude.
Only cry for your woman or man if you actually fucking mean it. Don't use it as a tool to be manipulative.
Definitely.
I'm adding that at the end.
Cause I'll be in the bathroom throwing water on my face.
You got the eye drops and shit.
And then FaceTime and like I was really crying. Like I've been there. All right, listen, y'all. Look. I just want to say, man, look, we're going to recuperate. We're going to get back in season 2, but there ain't going to be no more seasons after this. It's just going to be straight episodes. Shout out to Nerra. I've been getting on her nerves all season, and it is what it is. But
I love her.
life be life, and man. So yeah, it only made sense. And I hit her and I'm like, yo, I got one episode left to do. And I'm like,
I
we
had to
gonna
do
do
it.
it because this what needs to happen. I need to do it with who I started with. We started the first and the last. So we gonna keep that going. Next season, I got a lot of episodes. I already got a lot of topics down for how I'm gonna tackle next season. It's gonna be super dope. I ain't gonna talk y'all ears off because Nerra ready to go.
Why you gonna do that to me, y'all? Y'all already know once my drink is flowing, I'm flowing.
10 episodes. Shout out to everybody that played a part in this. All my guests. Shout out to Rose. Shout out to Styles. And shout out to everybody that be like, yeah, Smash he just be tripping. No, I don't. No, I don't. See, the problem is I say the shit that these other podcasters be scared to say. Y'all really don't want to see me, okay? I'm still here. That braggadocious Big Smash is still lurking around. Y'all don't want to see me. I do this shit in my sleep. I can debate how I debate and I talk how I talk with the best of them. But see, I needed people like Nerra to keep me level because I do be wilding, okay? But I just want to tell y'all, man, listen, moving on is good. It's good for the soul. And this is the best advice I can give y'all before I close this out. I was never going to get better in the same place that was making me sick, okay? So whether you're going through first impressions, long distance dilemmas, the friend zone, trust issues, miscommunication, balancing independence, financial conflicts, jealousy and insecurity, family dynamics, or you trying to move on, just know Big Smash is here with you all the way. All right? I'll explain all that later, though. Listen, y'all know what it is, man. Nerra, let the good people know where you at, what you got going on, where they can purchase the book at.
Yes. Please, you can follow me on Instagram at Queen Talks with Nerra. That's Queen Talks with Nerra or Nerra_the_Queen. If you go on my Instagram page, you can please click on that link in my bio. That will get you to all things Nerra, from my podcast to being able to purchase both my book in paperback as well as hardcover. All that stuff is right there. So please click the link on my bio. And while you're at it, make sure that you follow me on Instagram at Queen Talks with Nerra. That's the first step. You follow me on Instagram, then you click the link and you purchase the book.
There you go. There you go. It's that simple.
Is that simple?
I'm definitely going to purchase a book from you, man. I got you. I'm a supporter. You know what I'm saying?
And fantasy football, we in there. We in there.
Oh, yeah. Man, listen.
The big homie around.
Man, I hope these people know what they doing, man, because otherwise...
They don't. Almost everybody is a first year. So good luck. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. All right, listen, man, look. I appreciate y'all, man. I will tap in with y'all soon. Nerra will tap in with y'all soon. I'm gonna bug her to death, man. Next season, I'm gonna pre-record a lot of shit with her because I see right now that she be doing a whole bunch of shit. So shout out to you. I appreciate y'all. I see y'all when I see y'all. Y'all already know what it is.
Thanks for listening to I'll Explain All This Later. Please like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. And join us again next time for more outlandish takes on relationships and the dating life.